These videos use illustrations to help show the truth Darius has brought back from the other side. Darius's mission is to awaken the realm's consciousness, to remind you of who you are and where you come from. You are not just a body, you are a soul, experiencing a temporary journey in this human vessel. Your thoughts, your consciousness, do not end with death. They live on. You live on, eternally.
Is an out-of-body experience similar to a near-death experience? Are they one and the same? How does, in your experience?
Absolutely the same, yeah. Absolutely the same. There's no difference between these two things. And when you look at it has been actually pretty challenging for me to try to re-educate people on this, because it's come from a place of, when you think of out-of-body, you think of astral. And I've been trying to re-educate this process of this is not what it is. Because when someone has a near-death experience, their soul's leaving their body, 100%. When you have a true out-of-body state, you're 100% out of your body. So you don't necessarily say to somebody that has a near-death experience, oh, you just astral projected to the other side. It would sound comical, ridiculous. The only difference with the out-of-body state and the near-death is the near-death, you are essentially, the body's dead. When you're in the out-of-body state, your body doesn't die, but you do dip down the heart rate to a certain point. So, for instance, when you are in the process of shutting down your body, your heart rate will start to dip down. Now, when your soul leaves the body, now if people observe me, other people are practicing this as well. When the soul leaves the body, your heart rate and your physical body will even dip down a little bit further. To make it very simple, when you leave, it's no different as a near death. It's literally no different at all. The soul will leave the body, and you're 100% out. Even to the point where there is a point of no return, and I don't say that in a fearful way. It's like just with near death experiences, there's an offer. Sometimes, give or take, even when I was 16 years old, I was given an offer to leave at that time. At 16, I was given an offer to leave. And the only reason why I chose to come back is because I realized, okay, well, this is so temporary, not only temporary, but she showed me what was going to happen within my life. You could say the path. And that's pretty much what I'm doing now. So no difference at all there. And even so much so, there was a near-death experience person that I was working with closely. His name is David.
Link below in the description.
Everybody could look up that. There's a part 1 with him and a part 2. And he's had near-death experiences. He's had a heart issue. Heart completely stopped. Died. He's done the out-of-body state. And he has confirmed as well. So it's not just coming from what I say, believe me, but that there's no difference. And he actually even said in his testimonial that he actually had more clarity in the out-of-body state because he was doing it of his own volition, his own will, versus just, near death. And then I coined the phrase. I was like, okay, well, that actually makes sense, because when you have a near-death experience, what you're doing is, it's like, even though it's the same thing, but follow me through on this, because I think it will make a lot of sense.
Please.
But when you're having a near-death experience, it's almost as if you are on a plane to go skydiving, and you are not told that you're going to be pushed out of the plane. You're giving no briefing, no map, nothing. And then you're in the plane to skydive and you have no idea. And all of a sudden someone pushes you out and you're just free falling, panicking, freaking out. As the controlled out of body state, you are briefed. Okay, your body's going to shut down. It is going to feel like you're dying temporarily. Your soul's going to leave. This is what you're going to feel. The first things that you are probably going to see is things happening in real time. You'll see your physical body on the bed, and you'll be looking at your soul and your physical body, realizing that you have made the disconnection. Don't fear, don't panic, because you temporarily have this connection to the physical body that will start exciting the cells, pull you back in. You may also see beings. Understand, not to panic. These could be what you consider guides, or people who have been with you a very long time that you will then remember. You could access your soul records. You could see the entirety of this construct, even outside of it as well. You could do self-testings. And I've done group experiments on this too, where people in a group setting do these experiments where they write something as simple as a number 1 to 9. They put it on the table, come out of the body, bam, okay, I got the number. And then, to get the confirmation in just the real-time accuracy, okay, I'm actually seeing this. How could I possibly have seen that and been so accurate if it's not true? I really want to try to promote the people that are also doing this work as well, because it's, at first it was me just spreading the message, but there's so many more people now that have followed the principles and now are a part of it. I really think their names should be heard publicly to people and spread them as well, because these are people that have done the out-of-body state and have experienced the same thing. Kelly has her son was in the military. She's another one. She comes out of her body and then she projects herself to her son, being able to see exactly where he's at, see what he's thinking. And so there's quite a movement for the betterment of humanity, man, that I think people are totally unaware of still. And I think that this will create such a flame that it becomes unstoppable very, very, very soon, and to me, that gives me nothing but joy about it, because that's sort of what the vision that I had of just, here are the tools, here are the principles, like, please just share that message of the other side, because that's what wakes people up truly and completely. It wakes them back up to their home, and it wakes them back up to who they are. The confusion stops, the fear stops, and the fear's a big one. Yeah. So you right now, if you were to die and meet one of these beings, they hold no greater authority over you. The only thing that they do, because they understand the three laws of the universe. You can't have unconditional love with a judgment, ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation, nor can you, or consciousness dictates the universe. So all they do is they recognize the spark and the divinity of God within you. There's no difference. It's not like, oh, you are human, because we're not human. You could say even the angels right now, we even hold all of the DNA from the 12 realms within the physical body. That's why we have 12 helix DNA. That's why we have 12, 13 dimensional structures within the brain, because the body has all of that, you could say, that within it. So yeah, it's not like that. Yeah, it's very, very, you meet them, they recognize you. And sometimes based off the individual soul, because just because a soul comes here doesn't mean that somehow they're lower either. Because some souls have come here with such, I'm going to use this word lightly, but masters in a sense, just based off the accumulation of experience, and they're here. And so when they leave here, they're not looked upon as, or anybody as, oh, you are below. It's 100% equal through and through, and it's very physical. It's the out of body state, man, is it's more physical than what you experience here right now in physical life. And the best way to understand that is the brain could only decode a certain portion of the light spectrum, and so we call this
0.003% something.
You could expand this to more. The physical body can access more. But right now, majority of the population is only accessing that small portion of it. And we call this very real, very physical. But when you leave the body, you are seeing all of it again. You're accessing everything. You're accessing the potentialities of time. You're accessing thoughts. You're accessing the true state of you. And that is more real, more physical than what you would ever experience here. You'll be touching your soul hands and experiencing it as if it's very, very real. And then when you go back into the body, real doesn't even feel real, because you could say, experienced real again for the second time, born again for the second time, understanding that is the real home, your real state. So I mean, right now you could control the physical body. Right now, someone could come over and harm your physical body, and there's nothing that you could do to stop that. But nothing can touch your soul unless you believe it and give your power away to make that to be so. could experience hell on the other side too. And hell comes from on the other side of you stepping out of love, unconditional love. When you step out of that, you start creating things the opposite of that, which is a hellish experience.
Side or on this side? So when you step out of it, both. On this side? Or,
both.
Oh, both. Right.
Yeah, both. Yeah, because you like I said before, you cannot have ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation. So even your soul on the other side could step out of love, but then when you step out of love, you start to create your own hell. And this is where even when you get the near-death experience people too, based off their beliefs sometimes, based off their fear, it's fear. Like fear if they were brought up in Christianity and like you're going to go to hell forever if you do this. And based off of that as well, they temporarily experience their own prisons that I was talking about based off of fear until they say, I've had enough, I'm done with this. Or they reach out, and then when they break past the fear, then they pierce through, you could say, the ultimate veil of fear, and then they access all things again. So even them are experiencing their own temporary hell based off of fear, because fear is also, you could say, the opposite of love. When you step out of love, then you start fearing things as well. You start acting in greed. What is the abyss? A lot of people think the abyss is like, you get cast down into the abyss. The abyss is when the soul starts acting in a place outside of love and greed, because greed is an endless abyss that your soul then will experience. That's what the abyss is in that way, that context. So you could always step out of these things.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
But the part that I lost traction with was I thought the other side was completely unconditional love.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. But you could still create things outside of or stepping out of those things temporarily.
Temporarily.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's not a forever thing. I mean, you could say for the physical body, when you step out of love, that starts to self-manifest itself into pain, fear, unloving. And so the body will start to express that as well. And stress in and of itself even kills the body too. Proven. And if you're in a state of love, it does not. But you could step out of that state, that field, on the other side as well, and you will experience what is considered a hellish experience. So it's reflected. Everything is in a state of unconditional love. Yes, that's true. But you could step out of that just due to your will and the freedom of the soul. Does that make sense at all, or is it?
It does. No, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're always very soul connected. It's more of like you're just you remember again, and that very remembrance is a way as well. You could say that is the way of truly the straightest arrow of getting there. Because as soon as you realize that and realize the other side, your true state, then you pretty much questioning and waking up to everything at that point. Now there's other things. You could say there's fasting, but fasting can do it, but that's more of cleaning the body and trying to bring the body back to its state of the motor and everything working properly, but if one truly desires to fully, you could say, awaken, is remembering the other side, remembering your home, because you don't come from here. I don't come from here. No one comes from here. They come from somewhere else. And so when you just wake up to that, I think that is the quickest way, the most direct path to truly waking up. The reason why I say that is because right now your body is in a state of, it's going to die. It's decaying. So you don't experience that when you are in your soul. So here you experience all the decay, the death of the body, maintenance. Like when I say home, that's stepping back into, you could say, abundance, being infinite. Like nothing is like it is here in that way of death of things. It's life of things constantly.
It's interesting feeling into these conversations with you, because the fear of the other side just gets transposed with an intrigue. We leave here, we go home, we choose to reincarnate. And is that, what's going on with that? Like, why do we consistently choose to come back and have this particular experience if we've had it once before? Is it we want to hang out with different soul pods? Do we have soul family? Like, what's going on with the whole reincarnation thing, in your opinion?
Well, so something that some people don't. Yeah. So it's not like this is where you go into the karma thing and you're forced to reincarnate and soul trap and all that stuff. No one's forced to come back here. So, based off of all of the things that I've accessed, as well, I wasn't here many times myself, and many people haven't been here many times, so, when you go over like out as well, let's just say the incarnation doesn't exist on the other side in the way that it's experienced here. We incarnate here, we forget, we go through, you could say we forget our home, etc. But when you're there, when you step into, let's just say, another universe, another construct, you're stepping into that with your soul in full remembrance of everything. And so, yeah, and this is why I stated before what I was told. I bring it up a lot. This was the universe, the construct that was created to experience that, which we're not the only one of its kind in that way. Because it's, it's not quite like that.